Hello, everybody. Intuition here. Thank you, as always, for making time and space for us. Today, we wish to talk about the topic of how do you know when somebody is thinking of you? And though it seems complicated and complex, it is quite simple. You know that somebody is thinking about you when they pop into your head. If you are thinking about them, chances are it is not that you were thinking about them, it is more of the idea that they were probably thinking about you, and you just received the message. But how could that be so? But what the hell are you talking about? But what does that mean? So glad you asked. Inherently, we are all telepathic. That is what it comes down to. We're all telepathic because we are all energy. At our core, at our quantum, if you look at our molecular structure, we are energy. Even though we're universal principalities, even though we're lowercase g gods, even in our space and where it is that we come from, we are similar to the structure, to the anatomy that would be considered energy. So then, therefore, as above, so below, this is energy. It's all we are. That would include your thoughts. Your thoughts are also energy. There is no distance or change within that. So your thoughts don't just happen and begin and die within you. Your thoughts have form. That is why they're called thought forms. Your thought creates a shape, it creates a definition, it creates a construct, it creates a formation. After all, your thoughts are just information, which then creates a formation, which then, as soon as you're done thinking that thought, that information shoots out of your consciousness, that energy shoots out of you, because again, you are all just energy. It shoots out from you, and it goes towards whatever it was that you were thinking about. And when that object, person, receives that, the person that was thinking about them pops into their head. Oh, how random, I'm thinking about JoJo. Haven't thought about JoJo in years. It's very strange. What a coincidence. But like most coincidences, most people who think coincidences happen, they just think it's a coincidence and don't look into it and just keep on going. And that is like leaving a message on read. You do not usually, unless you don't want to talk to the person or are not intrigued about the message, you do not leave somebody on read. You usually look into what it is that the message is about. So if somebody is popping up into your head, it is not just happenstance, there is no coincidences. You are thinking about them more than likely because they were just thinking about you. And then therefore, if they were thinking about you, it is not just, oh wow, I'm thinking about JoJo, and that's it. There's a lot attached to the message. So it is the idea that once somebody is thinking about you, and then therefore, after they're done thinking about you, that energy shoots towards you, you receive that message, and that person pops into your head. If you sit with that a little bit longer, if you feel into that energy for a second, then you will see more of the construct of the message, more of the subject and what it is that the message is trying to convey, because it is not just about JoJo. You just received who it is that's sending a message to you, just like an instant message. When you receive an instant message, you see who sent it to you. And you click on the information, the little dot, whatever it is, to see what the hell the message is about. So in order for you to see what the hell the message is about and not just know that, oh, JoJo is thinking about me, you have to sit with what it is that you feel is going on in the content of that message. Oh, I'm thinking about JoJo. And now all of a sudden, I have this strange nostalgic feeling. I remember the last time I talked to JoJo was in high school, and now I'm having an image of high school coming into my mind. And there's JoJo. And now I'm thinking about that time where I actually dated JoJo's brother. And you know what? It doesn't feel like my memory, really. I just feel a negative feeling, a negative charge with the memory of me dating JoJo's brother. And that's strange, because I never felt very negative about it. I was always very excited about dating JoJo's brother. So, again, that wouldn't be a happenstance. That is JoJo sending you a message. Even though it's subconscious, of course. And the message is, maybe JoJo was looking through their yearbook, and they saw your face, and they remembered, ah, that's Valerie. And that Valerie, you know, she dated my brother, and I was never very excited about that. We used to be friends before she dated my brother, then she dated my brother, and everything went south. Ugh. And then she flipped the page. And then that shifted her conscious awareness to something else. And as soon as her conscious awareness shifted, it sent out that message to you. And then therefore, you received the message of what it is that JoJo just sent to you. So you know when somebody's thinking about you, when you're thinking about them. It is as simple and as complex as that, because we are all just energy, and energy is telepathic. And you could call it a karmic law, but it is not necessarily a karmic law. It is more of the idea of, if something has to do with you, you're gonna know about it. If somebody is thinking about you, you deserve to know about it. Because on some level, they're using your energy to think about you. So then therefore, of course, you're going to receive that energy back. And when you receive that energy back, it is usually going to be in the message, or it is going to be in the form of a message. So it is not just random, it is not just happenstance. You may then ask, well, how do you know if it's the chicken or the egg? How do I know that I wasn't thinking of them first? And then therefore, I started the whole situation. You know who sent the message first, based off of who is most responsible in the relationship, who holds the most responsibility within that relationship. So in the example of JoJo and Valerie, JoJo is the most responsible one in the relationship. JoJo has the most responsibility because JoJo has feelings, emotions that she never really expressed to you, about her having a problem with you dating her brother. So she then therefore has the most responsibility in the relationship, because she has feelings that she never aired out and never expressed, and then therefore there is more of a responsibility on her end to share those with you on some way, some level, because she's holding on to that. So she has the most responsibility in that relationship, because you don't have any ill feelings towards JoJo, or even positive feelings. You're very neutral about it. So you know who sent the message based off of who has the most responsibility, whether literal or figurative, within the relationship that you guys have. This goes the same for romantic. If you have a crush on somebody, you know if that person is thinking about you, if you're thinking about them. Because it usually goes around and around and around in a circle. That person will think about you, and then when they're done thinking about you, that thought form shoots out towards you. And then you receive that thought form, and then you say, oh my goodness, I'm thinking about Darren. That Darren's so handsome. I love Darren. If I could just get a piece of that Darren. And then, after you're done thinking about Darren, then that thought form shoots out back to Darren. And then Darren is now thinking about you again. And Darren is, oh my goodness, all of a sudden, I'm feeling this intimate, this sexualized energy, accompanied with the person that I have a crush on. Interesting. And I'm going to add to that sexualized energy, because the person that just sent me that message was thinking about me in a very sexualized way. And so now I'm going to add my ideas, my desires onto that message that I received. And then as soon as Darren shifts their consciousness, that thought form is then sent right back to you. And then it just goes around and around and around in a circle. And you guys are literally talking to each other all day, but you just don't even realize or recognize or know it. So, we are all telepathic. We all have people in our energetic phone book that we're always reaching out to all the time. Because again, we are all energy, and you can't escape energy. So, if you get anything out of this, the biggest maybe highlight, bold, underline idea, thought would be, maybe be careful about what it is that you're thinking about. That does not necessarily mean don't allow yourself to think about certain thoughts, because that will shoot off from you and go to that person. Lucky you, most people are unaware of how to really decipher and discern the instant message that you send. So they will just believe it as a happenstance that you are popping into their head. But it is also important to be aware of what it is that you're sending out, because you are sending something out. And they will receive it. whether they are conscious of it or not. So, might as well be clear on what it is that you're sending out. Are you sending out a lot of hate? Are you sending out a lot of love? Are you sending out a lot of intimacy? Because now that you know that it is actually going somewhere, you might not be so ready to be giving all of that away. You might want to just keep some things to yourself, because your thoughts on some level are not as private as you would think. Because again, as soon as you're done having that thought, it shoots out of you and goes to that thing that you were thinking about. So, some food for thought. As always, we invite you to try these things out. If you need to have your own validation, if you need to see it yourself, then maybe have some heavy thinking about a person and then call them the next day and say, hey, did you think about me at all before I called you? Did I come into your mind? Was there anything that reminded you of me in any type of way before, of course, I gave you a call? And you might be surprised at what it is that they were able to receive from you. So, as always, we're full of gratitude for the time and space that you've created and made for us. And we wish you well with your thoughts and thinking about certain things and people. May you know who's thinking about you, and may you know what it is that you're thinking about other people before you send it out. Well wishes.